After 30 years, the first season of Real World, the 7 roommates all come together and live together. Now, this was back in 1992 or 1991, which actually was the year I was born. So, yeah, your girl was not alive then to see the season. But actually, we can all catch the season on Paramount Plus. And if you don't have it, go get it. I think they're giving a month free trial. That's what I'm using right now because I had to pay on the 14th. But let's just get into this. So Julie is the first one to come to the door. She was only 19 at the time. And then we learned, like, they basically were all sort of like artists and writers and that sort of thing. So Becky, she was a struggling artist in New York, and she was a singer-songwriter. And you know, there's like a lot of big changes. Like, nobody really uses like house phone, landline phones anymore. I mean, some of us still, but most of us don't. So that's different. And you know, you got the camera and everything. Kevin, I really like Kevin, you know, because he was trying to portray the issues, but really they tried to portray him as a angry black man. So like, even like if a black woman tries to like give her opinion about something, y'all portray us as assertive or angry, and that is just something that you shouldn't be doing. You know, just don't do that. He was when he first came on the show 30 years ago, he was writing, he was a poet, and he was teaching to high school kids, and he was an activist. You know, that was during the time where the Rodney King thing had happened in LA, and there was like these riots in LA. Trust me, I've heard the stories. Like, it was terrible. And a lot of things have changed from the 90s to now. Like, the TV has changed, politics have changed. The politic issues are rooted really hard, like they were not 30 years ago, and the racism. So I think they're Kevin and maybe Becky or Julie are going to talk about that again, because when I watch later on the episode, oh my gosh. And then Norman, he was a big nerd back in the day, and you know, he's going, I'm going through menopause. So you must like be 50 or something, like, okay. And then Andre, he was trying to break into the music business. And then we have Heather. She's the other black lady that was on the show. She is known from music, and she was 21 years old when she walked through those doors. So now she's probably like 51 years old. And like, I love that they're bringing music from the 90s. Like, if y'all know, pump up that jam, pump it up. Like, I was born in the decade, but I feel like I've heard all the music in the womb, and like heard all the music later through the radio and everything. So yeah. And then there's one roommate missing. So before the show started, they all had to get tested for COVID, and turns out he had to cancel his interviews, Eric, because he has COVID. So that sucked. And Heather's like, man, I hope I bought all the stuff, everything from massage, foot rub. Like, I hope you ain't trying to take me on a mushroom trip. Like, that's really old. So that we learned, Eric has moved into, he was working on the grind, making the hip hop aerobics, which I don't know nothing about. He don't drink or do drugs, and everybody's so excited to see their like old pictures. It's like, I feel it. I feel like the 2020s has started. Like, this is gonna be the decade of nostalgia, okay? Because some things are turning 20, some things are turning 30 in this decade. So there's that. And if it weren't for this show, I don't think that Catfish would have came on. Or if it would have came on later, because MTV back then in the 80s and the early 90s, it was just all music. There was no there was no Catfish. There was no, what was this on? Oh, excuse me. Ghosted. There was no shows like that. So thank you, The Real World. Thank you. And I like Kevin, because he's actually speaking the truth, and like, nobody really didn't want to hear it, but like, I'm so tired of the black and white thing. Well, here we are still 30 years later, still fucking tired of it. Aren't you? Aren't you? And then Julie felt like she went around the world and back again, because you know, things went downhill with her for her parents' health, and then she got married and she had her kids, and then one of her kids is actually getting ready to move out. So I understand that. And then there's the whole black and white thing. And back 30 years ago, they Julie and Kevin had a fight about racism. And you know, Eric was saying, no, not Eric, Kevin, I'm sorry. Kevin was saying, oh, you know, back in the Middle East, and like the black and white thing, like, you could go up and down the street and the popo won't arrest you, but they see me just standing there, they're probably gonna arrest me. Like, people don't get what it is like, you know? there's more than the history books, there's more than the movies, and there's more than the show. So I don't know when the next episode comes out, but I'll be reviewing that one too. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time.